Yeah, I mean, just really proud of the group. A difficult game versus a really good team in New England, a team that's been stingy, giving up goals, and really difficult to play against. And they have really good defense, and they got some really good attacking players. There's moments and periods in the game where we weren't our best, that we had to push through and suffer. But great responses by the team. Great responses by the team, and a lot of guys stepped up tonight. A real team performance.
All right, we'll go ahead and start with Ben Wright. If you have a follow-up, you can also go immediately after.
Yeah, BJ, I wanted to start just by asking about Chris Applewhite. Obviously a big game for him to come into, and probably not the best job on the 2 goals, but then he stepped up after that. He had a huge tackle on Maxi Urruti in the second half. Just what did you make of how he kind of adapted to the game and grew into it?
Yeah, again, I think all these experience that he's gets are going to help him, grow and get better. Of course, he's probably going to be disappointed in some of the, final action goals, but you look at the way he responds, the way he stays composed, and the way he stays himself. Just another night of him taking a step forward. Really proud of him, and again, he's up against some really good attacking players, and I think he did a job that he can be proud of, but at the same time did a job that he can reflect on and know that there's still room to grow, and that's what we expect. But we're confident to put young players on the field. We do what we say we're going to do, and that's it. And he's a shining example of that.
And then I know we've talked about Sam a lot lately, but I mean, he just keeps scoring. Leading the Golden Boot race right now, a huge performance to get the win tonight. Do you feel like this was maybe in response to not making the All-Star team?
We don't really get into that. I'm just happy he's scoring and keeps scoring. It's our job as a team to continue to get him, the ball in positions where he scores. Tonight, that first one on the back post is a vintage type of Sam play. And again, he's scoring, but there's so many other ways that he's contributing as well, which is what we're most proud about.
Let's go next to Jacob Shames.
Yeah, BJ, I guess what did you make of Johnny Perez's performance on that right wing? I guess what gave you what went to the decision to give him the start tonight?
Johnny earned the start. The work that he's been putting in training, the opportunities that he's getting in the games, he's making impacts. So he's earned that opportunity. And for me, I thought he did a good job. He was a dangerous player. He cuts in on the right-hand side. He's able to find ways to shoot. Hits the post. Obviously, has the great sort of service to Sam. Just a good performance. On the other side, I think you're watching a guy develop into a more complete player. I thought his defensive work was really good. His recognition of pressing triggers was good. And so testament to his work, every day to improve himself and make himself a more complete player. And I thought we saw glimpses of that tonight.
You've played four teams twice now this year, and you've won all 4 of those matches. I guess what goes into that, getting ready to play a team a second time, and also looking forward with this question too, obviously playing DC United on Saturday.
Yeah, we constantly, I constantly say, we constantly do, that we are a learning and growing environment. We have ways that we want to evaluate our performances. We don't get high when we win. We don't get low when we lose. We just stick to how we prepare for opponents. And I think, that's what we take takeaways from playing them. And then we try to improve ourselves so that the next time we play, we're able to, have a better performance. I think that happened tonight. And looking forward to DC United, we need to improve from the last time we had them at Geodis, and now we're back. We stay on the road, but the expectation is the same: 3 points on the road.
All right, we'll go to Nick Frazier next.
Yeah, BJ, tonight with already talking about Johnny Perez and Chris Applewhite. Just I guess when it comes to flipping the switch at the beginning of the season, I mean, expectations are, you don't really know what you have with your team. And now with your team finally having a true core chemistry when it comes to games week in and week out, I guess, what is it for you guys when just to flip the switch for mentality of now being a top 3 team in the East to maybe actually competing for a true MLS title?
For us, we just talk about turning the page every day. We don't have expectations. We don't put expectations on ourselves. My job's to listen to sort of what the team is giving us, in different phases, how guys are feeling, how we can, matchups we can do. Their job's to be prepared and be ready to perform in our sort of, the next man up when your number's called. We know that we're expecting everybody to make contributions over a long MLS season, and we just come to work every day, put our work in, stick to the way we want to play, stick to the way we want to prepare, and again, continue to just turn every page.
Next, we'll go to John Glennon.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Valair.
Yeah, BJ. We've heard from so many coaches, including yourself, about how hard it is to get results away from home in MLS. You've been able to get 2 wins away now in a row, and you've been overall having a pretty good away showing, I guess I would say. So, what do you think the keys are for that, and how important is it to collect these points at this point of the season?
I mean, collecting points is huge, right? Especially when you're playing Eastern Conference games. So the more points you can take and basically takes points off the table for them to earn and gain as you kind of go through the second half of the season. For us, it's about having a consistent mindset, whether we're home or away. We know how we want to play, and we don't want to change that. And so for us, I think that gives us a level of consistency where we don't factor, where we're playing or who we're playing. We want to play our way. But at the same time, we know that there's going to be challenges in each sort of environment that we go to. And we're prepared to not be reactive. We want to respond to them. And we talk about that. We train that. And, I know it's cliche, but you try to control what you can control. And that even, that's even heightened in an away match. So the group is doing really good, staying neutral, staying in the middle, and just going about our work each and every day.
And I know you said that, maybe individual awards aren't, or individual honors aren't something maybe you aim for as a team. But how important and how cool it is, I guess, to see Andy Nahar being honored as an MLS All-Star. And what does that say about the culture you're building in Nashville and the team you're building in Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, we're super proud of Andy, right? Like he's earned this. And coming in and buying into a culture that makes the teammate, makes the team shine, and the team is the shining star. You see those, you'll see individual accolades come from that. And it's not an easy thing to do, but, credit to all the guys around him. There's a great supporting cast for him. And he's well deserving to do it. The work that he puts in every day, again, I've said he's earned that. But for us, we know that individual accolades will come when the team does well. And right now, we want to just continue to do well.
All right, and we'll go to Corey Curtis.
Hey, BJ, Eddie gets the yellow tonight. Does that kind of come with the territory with him? And what do you have to do to replace him in DC?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, I thought he was up to yellows earlier in the season and got good behavior. So, we know these things are coming. We're prepared for it. The guys are prepared to step up. We see that each and every week with our team. The next man is up when your number's called. So, we'll be able to put a really good team against DC. We'll rest, we'll recover, we'll travel. We'll start preparing on the airplane, and I'm confident we'll put a good group out there and have a good competitive match versus DC.
Anything else, Corey?
Nope, I'm good. Congrats.
All right, thanks, y'all. We'll be back with Dan Lovitz in a moment.